Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you were just, having a quiet cup of tea recently and your phone suddenly blared this incredibly jarring siren, I promise you are definitely not alone. Today, we're demystifying these sudden alerts, digging into exactly why the government is sending them out, and taking a closer look at the fascinating technology that is fundamentally upgrading national safety.
So, let's jump right into it. If you literally jumped out of your skin because of that alarm, don't worry. It can for sure be jarring to receive an alert completely out of the blue like that, especially one that perfectly mimics the sound usually reserved for a severe, life-threatening emergency. But here's the thing. This isn't a glitch, and it certainly isn't spam. It's actually a highly coordinated effort by the government of India to roll out a brand new communication system. And when this thing is fully functional, it could literally mean the difference between life and death during a disaster.
If you actually take a close look at the message you likely received, whether it popped up in English, Hindi, or a regional language, it's highly specific. It was sent by the National Disaster Management Authority in coordination with the Department of Telecommunications, and it clearly states right there at the top that it is a test cell broadcast message. The language leaves absolutely no room for ambiguity. It's telling you the system is being tested, it warns you that you might actually get this exact message multiple times, and it explicitly asks you to just ignore it. Which brings us to the absolute most crucial point. You do not need to panic, and you don't need to do anything at all. This is purely a planned nationwide testing exercise. Now, I know human instinct kicks in the second we hear a siren, right? We want to click a link, we want to call someone, we want to figure out what went wrong, but the government has been incredibly clear during this phase. This is just about system validation. They're just checking the pipes, so to speak, to make sure the data flows exactly as it should. Zero action is required by you.
Okay, so to fully understand why this new test is even happening, we first need to look at India's current disaster communication framework. It's a system called Sachet, which is an integrated alert system based on something known as the Common Alerting Protocol. Right now, this system is actually up and running across all 36 states and union territories of India. Its primary job is to deliver disaster and emergency-related alerts to mobile users within various specific geo-targeted areas. And historically, it's done this almost entirely by using traditional SMS text messaging.
Now, to put that into perspective, what is truly staggering is the sheer scale of that existing Sachet system. To date, disaster management authorities have successfully used it to send over 134 billion SMS alerts. That is an absolutely enormous volume of messages. And they've been sent out in more than 19 different Indian languages, warning citizens about natural disasters, severe weather conditions, and cyclonic events. So the infrastructure for warning people already exists, and it's been incredibly active. But there is a very specific, glaring limitation to SMS technology when time is of the absolute essence. And this is exactly where the critical technology shift happens. Think of the old SMS system kind of like a mailman delivering individual letters. Even if that mailman is incredibly fast, he still has to go door to door, sequentially delivering the message to one phone number at a time across a network. Now, compare that to cell broadcast. Cell broadcast acts like a giant loudspeaker in a specific room. Everyone in that room hears the announcement at the exact same time. While SMS is great for giving you a weather warning a day in advance, that sequential one-by-one delivery is simply way too slow for rapid onset emergencies like earthquakes, tsunamis, lightning strikes, or a sudden man-made emergency like a gas leak.
And boom, that brings us to the exact technology that's causing your phone to beep today. By using cell broadcast technology alongside traditional SMS, the government can instantly ping every single mobile device in a defined danger zone simultaneously. It completely bypasses network congestion. It actually doesn't matter if you have a prepaid phone, a postpaid phone, or even if your number is registered in a totally different state. If your phone is connected to a cell tower in that specific geographic area, you are getting the alert in near real time. It is literally the ultimate tool for sudden, time-critical situations.
Now, an indigenous technological leap like this doesn't just happen overnight, and it definitely isn't happening in a vacuum. It is a massive collaborative effort. First off, you have the Department of Telecommunications driving the whole initiative. Then you have the National Disaster Management Authority, who actually manages the Sachet system and coordinates the alerts themselves. And crucially, we have CDOT, that's the Center for Development of Telematics. They are the premier R&D center of the DOT, and they are the ones who've been entrusted with the actual indigenous development and implementation of this entire cell broadcast public emergency alert system. So you might be asking, why test it right now? Well, the reason you're getting these loud alerts is that they are conducting nationwide trials before the system's formal official inauguration. And they have very specific goals for this pan-India rollout. They need to thoroughly assess the performance and the reliability of the system across the entire mobile network infrastructure. That means they have to test different telecom operators, wildly different geographic terrains, and make sure that the multi-language support, whether that's in English, Hindi, or regional languages, works completely flawlessly across hundreds of millions of very diverse handsets. Now, practically speaking, I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering if you have any control over this at all. If these nationwide trials are ongoing and they are sending multiple messages to make sure everything works, do you just have to sit there and listen to your phone beep during an important meeting? Is there any way to control whether your device receives these specific tense notifications while the trials are happening? Well, the short answer is yes, you absolutely do. You can easily enable or disable these specific testing alerts by following a really quick menu path on most modern mobile devices. You simply grab your phone, go to your settings, tap on Safety and Emergency, navigate over to Wireless Emergency Alerts, and right there you will find a toggle specifically for test alerts. By simply turning that off, you are officially opting out of the current validation testing phase. And thankfully, you won't get those sudden test beeps anymore. But, and this is a very, very important but, you need to know what happens once the testing phase is actually over. Once the cell broadcast system is fully tested and officially operationalized, real emergency alerts will be broadcast to all mobile handsets, completely regardless of your test channel settings. You cannot opt out of an actual real-world emergency alert. And honestly, that makes perfect sense. The whole point of the system is to ensure a wide, inclusive, and guaranteed public reach during actual crises to keep absolutely every citizen in the affected area as safe as possible. So, wrapping all of this up, it really leaves us with a fascinating final thought to consider. As we look at this massive evolution from a system that reliably sent out billions of slower, individual text messages to a fully indigenous infrastructure that is capable of instantaneous geographic mass broadcasts, we have to ask ourselves, how will this near real-time technology reshape the future of survival? Think about it. When an earthquake hits or a tsunami approaches, and you can suddenly give a billion people a few extra precious seconds of warning simultaneously, how many lives will that save? It's a remarkable leap in public safety. And now you know exactly what's happening behind the screen the next time your phone sounds that alarm. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.